everyone, welcome back. So as you can see from the title of this video, it is a slightly different one for my channel, but I really wanted to approach this subject and talk about it because I'm currently at college in my second year and most of the people around me, like my friends, peers, are all going off to university in September, which is the standard thing that most people do when they finish college in England, where I live. It is like the highest form of education. You go there generally for 3 or 4 years and get a degree. Basically, I wanted to make a video about what I'm doing in September, but just talk about different options there are if you are looking to not go to university. I just want to mention that I'm not anti-uni or anything. I think it is a great place to go if you, one, want to go to uni and like experience the whole thing in general, two, if you want to go into a job that requires a degree, like, I don't know, doctors and scientists, all that, I don't know, astronaut. But there are certain jobs, especially with my like career line, I want to go into fashion. It's not necessarily something that you need to go to uni for. You can, but you don't have to. So yeah, I'm not like shaming anybody going to uni. I think it's a great thing for certain people, but there are other people that it's not as suited to in many different ways. So I first started looking into universities and different courses and that sort of thing, I think about January last year. So that was still in my first year at college. Near the end, they started to like get us to research different universities, different courses, and where we might like to go next year, because we were in the first year. At that point, I had an open mind. I was like, okay, I will look into different universities, different courses, and also look at different apprenticeships and other options, which was generally what most people were doing at the time. So I went online. I think there was like a certain website that had different courses that were fashion based, different universities and what they did, like, because a few have like 3 different courses, or for example, I don't know, fashion buying and fashion design. So I was just looking up different specialised courses within my career path, if that makes sense. But there wasn't many that really took my fancy. I did go to an open day, just a local one, which had a variety of different fashion courses, so I could see different types of courses and just sort of get an idea of what the university felt like in general. But I really didn't like that open day, and it may have just been that uni, or it may just be that I'm not that keen on uni in general. I don't know, but anyway, I would suggest if you are still at that stage looking at different universities, different options, that you do go to at least one open day just to get a feel for it. And if you don't like it, that's fine. If you do, then great. Make sure you pick up all the leaflets and blah blah blah, everything like that. I found that in college around this time, quite a lot of our teachers, and we had some talks, were generally based on going to uni, and they didn't really talk much about other options. So that's generally why I want to make this video. Yeah, they generally want you to go to uni at college, so because it helps with like their stats and everything, and I think that's why they sort of hold back on the other options there are. If you are at college and you have a careers advisor or a further education person that you can go to find out a bit more about apprenticeships and further education courses that aren't university, or just like advice on how you can get into that career that you want to go to but without having to go to university. They might be able to recommend you a job, because our college seems to have like little jobs and internships and things that they sometimes have that they could advise you for, and then work your way up, because there is always that way. I think nowadays quite a lot of jobs like you to have a degree, but if you have worked hard and you've worked with lots of different people and you have that experience, that is something that people coming out of uni don't necessarily have. If you've been in a job or in a variety of jobs in your industry for 3 or 4 years, I feel like that has to be an advantage over somebody that's just come out of uni that might have done 1 year's work experience. But obviously they have a lot more theory and they have a qualification. Personally, I think there's pros and cons, and it depends what job you are looking to go into, but definitely explore different options if you don't want to go to uni. And I went on a website called notgoingtouni.com, I think. I'll try and link it down below for you. Basically it had different apprenticeships, they had jobs on there, internships, that sort of thing, and different sites, and that is, I think, where I found the site of the place that I'm going to in September. If you don't know, I'm going to a college in London for a year to do a level 4 foundation degree. So it's technically a degree, it's in the word, but it's not, because it's only a year, it's government funded, so you don't come out with a load of debt. You do have to pay obviously to get there, your own travel, they're not going to pay for that. There's definitely places, even at your own colleges, they probably do level 4 courses. Obviously it depends what you're doing. If you're doing maths or something, maybe it doesn't, they might not do that, I don't know. I was lucky enough to have the support of my family and friends, but not everybody gets that. I feel like there's quite a lot of families and colleges and maybe even your friends that like to push you towards the university because they think that is the best route for you. They're only trying to look out for you, and I understand that, but if you really don't want to do something, it's not going to work. I think that's my thought process was when I went to the university open day. I didn't really want to go to the open day, and even when I was there I wasn't really enjoying what they were saying, what they were showing me. And if you're not enjoying it at that point and you're not excited about going to these places, then doesn't that tell you something, that you're not going to be excited when you start? You're still going to be like hesitant and feeling like you have to be there, you've got nothing else to do, and then you're not going to get good grades, you're not going to enjoy your time there, and you might even drop out and then end up with bills and debt to pay off and not even have a degree. There's definitely a lot to think about at this time of year. Even if you've like applied for uni, or at the moment you're writing your statements and things, you can always apply if you are not sure still, and keep looking for other options at the time, because they don't make you make a final decision until whenever it is nearer the time. If you're still not sure, then I would apply. Personally, I didn't apply through UCAS at all, because at that point I'd found where I wanted to go and I just went with that. And although it was just one pathway, and if they didn't get accepted then I would be pretty stuck. I'd have to look at different options. I knew that's the one thing I wanted to do, so there was no point in me applying for uni when I knew I didn't want to go there. So yeah, I think you just have to be mentally set on your goal and what you want to do, and don't feel pressured by your colleges and if there's people around you pressuring you into something you don't want to do. Because at the end of the day, it is your life for the next 4 years or however long you're going for. If you do want to look into apprenticeships, don't be fooled by the stereotype that apprenticeships are just for mechanics and those jobs they tell you about. Apprenticeship schemes are about those specific jobs. There are quite a lot of variety of jobs and places that do take apprentices on. If you go on the Gov website, they have a list there. I didn't find it that helpful, but they might have ones on there for you. And also I just searched fashion apprenticeships, so if you just put your subject or your career path first and then apprenticeship, sometimes there's specific sites for those jobs and apprenticeships. Another thing that you need to do before you say no to uni is research about your job goal or career prospect, that the job you want to go into doesn't require a degree set in stone. Some jobs say they would prefer if you had a degree, so then ones you can get into without a degree. So just make sure that it doesn't say you need a degree for this specific job, because then I would feel really bad if you didn't go. So you probably would have done that research already. If not, get online, Google, go on Indeed, because they have jobs on there, so look for the job and then see what it says in the description and that sort of thing. I found that quite helpful to find out more about the specific job. And go to a careers advisor, although they may be biased at your college and try and tell you that you need a degree. So I don't know how to tell you if they're lying or not, but just be aware of that. I will try and link some other helpful links down below to any sites I can find that give you more information about different pathways that are, rather than the typical uni option. Otherwise, I think that is everything that I wanted to say. It's probably not. I'm probably going to remember something after I start editing this. But if you have any questions, please leave them down below and leave your feedback. If this helped you in some way, I'm glad that I filmed this. It was something that I didn't really know how to approach. I didn't want to offend anybody. I generally just wanted to help those people that were in a similar situation to me, because I honestly had no clue what to do with myself. I thought, that's it, I'm just going to do nothing. I will see you next time. Bye!